Hello, internet lovely people that we love. It is me, your host and GM, Ash. I use she, her pronouns, and today we are playing the Splintering Wheel, which is a dungeon world here on I'm Not Trying to Kill You, here on my Twitch channel. I... I have with me 4 lovely adventurers. They will all give you their introductions of themselves and their pronouns and also their characters, and then we will play a role-playing game together. The first adventurer is Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. um, no, I'm not doing that. Oh my god. DC. Hi, I'm Emily. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a filmmaker and an artist. I'm on Twitter at Blackwell Says. I might tweet some stuff today about our hopefully ridiculous and entertaining adventures. And today I think I'm going to be playing Faustus. Faustus is an arcane duelist. He is very fabulous. He is very good at duels. Last time we saw him, he defeated a gigantic riddling lizard in a duel, and it was very cool. And we all answered riddles and were very smart, so go team. Yeah, so I'm going to be that particular camp dork today.
Yeah. Faustus's, oh no, wait, no, you're playing as a different character. Darren, hi.
Hi!
What?
I'm Darren. I use he, him pronouns. I'm Alchemy and Ink in chat and was formerly Explosive Luggeria. I'm a game designer and I'll be playing Ro, who also uses he, him pronouns. Ro is an immolator and a horrible gremlin of a man. His body type is kind of like the traditional D&D kobolds, but he wraps his body in cloth and wears a mask. Yeah, I think that's a good short introduction for him.
Yes. I like Ro's companion.
Oh, yes. He also has a wood louse the size of a cat named Marrow, and it has a little bow wrapped around its antenna.
Yeah. Excellent. So our other immolator is Heather. Well,
Hello.
I guess you're not the immolator, but hi.
I could be if the laws weren't in play. Anyway, yes. Hello, I'm Heather. Also short trump. I use they them pronouns, as does my immolator today, who is Forland. They are a salamander. So they've got kind of a bulky frame with slick black scales with yellow patches and white crosses over their cheeks, and several pairs of black eyes going back over their skull. They wear backpack and dungarees with a scarf to conceal their chest most of the time.
I love them. They're great. And finally, DC.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm DC. I make video games. No, I'm just kidding. I make tabletop RPGs, or at least I've made like 2.
Hey, you have.
My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. My character's name is Sparrow. Their pronouns are they, them. Sparrow is a thief, a roguish type who takes care of the children by going out and stealing things and feeding the kids, and sometimes trying to build walls unsuccessfully. They like poisons and dirt bikes, canonically.
Yeah.
And are cool.
and are canonically cool. Confirmed. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, I think then we can have a look at Beta as a town. I think it's like last we saw it was kind of wintry. Like end of beginning of spring, end of winter. And I think it's still having that kind of a feel about it. I think this we come into it on a morning where there's a frost over everything, and so we see like someone like wandering down the street with like a sack full of paddymelons and like trying to work out what they're going to do with them, and like leaving like the crunching like frost behind them. I think we see trees with like leaves that have all gone black from the like rapid frost, whereas it had been like they had no time to shed the leaves. And I think we see like like rodents and things like coming out onto the large rocks that are near town and like sunning themselves to try and like get as much warmth out of the sun as possible. Warm up after a chilly night. What do we see of our characters? Some of our characters are returning. Technically, Ro was not in the last one, so Darren's done a very clever thing by having two characters, and switching them out can actually do the lending a hand move if they want to. But yeah, I think everyone here could do the. Oh no, because Faustus, were you in the last one, Faustus? Yeah. Okay, so Faustus is the only one who couldn't lend a hand, but yeah.
Which is a pity because I have a specific thing that I need to.
Maybe you want to help someone out with one, then give them some stuff.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's absolutely how I'm going to meet one of these characters. I'm going to go and meet somebody.
I mean, what does this look like?
Okay. Well, do you want to do... Let's do this like in order of like... I don't know, people who've been away for a while, because...
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, who has a... Does anyone have a project that they want to work on? Or does anyone want to... Because, like, project working on and looking for rumors can kind of happen in tandem.
Although, yeah, if someone wants me to come and find them and tell you about a project, then that is the thing.
Sparrow has a deed to do.
A deed. Sparrow. Do it. What's the deed?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I know what the deed is, but you have to tell me.
We're building some motherfucking walls.
All right. Sounds good.
It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Third time's the charm.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a +2 this time?
Yep.
Okay.
2d6 + 2. You can do it.
Whatever deity smile down upon me, please bless me now in this roll.
Heck yeah! Nicely done. All right, so yeah, that increases its progress by 1. You can right-click on it, and then you should be able to do multi-sided and then choose side. You can tick that up to 1.
Yes.
For the walls. What does that look like? You make some progress on the walls.
I think there's like a montage of Sparrow over the last few weeks studying the walls of other buildings that are successfully still together, measuring things, probably with like clothing or shoes, and then eventually Sparrow goes up to this wall of like a house or a fence, spits on both their hands, just starts very carefully, intricately building up this wall with like leaves and gunk that they made, and just like there's this level of mastery now. It's like, I will not be defeated again today.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. You make so we've got like several projects that have got like some progress on them. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah.
really nice being able to see them all clearly visually with the clocks and everything. I think that that's a really good thing. It makes it feel more accessible to work on them. Like you can just look at it and be like, yes, these are things that are happening. Here is how I could help. So
Yep.
it's a really good addition.
Definitely. Cool. Is anyone else doing projects or searching for rumors or?
Would I? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
can I find someone at some point? I'm going to need it. I'm going to need help.
What's Falland up to?
Would I potentially be able to help out at the carpenter with one of my moves of handcrafted to make some metal tools for the carpenter?
Do you have metal to make into tools?
That is a good point. I do not believe so.
Yeah, I think if you have something that is like good steel, right? Like quality steel, then I think you would be able to craft that and use it as like a +1 on a roll for the carpenter. Because we have the like if you have things that are useful like contributions, like for instance, the apothecary has been helped by some people bringing weird apothecary shit back into town, and so then they get a +1 on their attempt to like make it.
In that case, can I guess maybe theoretically start a new project?
Yes, you can.
I would like to do some sort of thing to protect the grave area.
That sounds like you're working on the walls then.
Okay.
To me, yeah. So, like, yeah, 100%. You can go 2d6 plus 2 because we currently have fortunes to try and work on the walls. Buddy, friend. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, I ruined everything.
It's alright.
Make sure you mark XP though.
Yep.
I've been there. I understand your feelings.
Yeah, it's cool. It happens.
You have not yet mastered the leaf gunk technique.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's
I'm more of a fire gunk technique, which is not good for walls.
Yeah, exactly. Fire is more for pulling down. On a 6-, catastrophe. Resources are lost in an accident. More harm is done than good. Reduce fortunes by 1 to a minimum of -3, and gain a debility of your choice. So we go down to -1 fortunes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have Falland and Sparrow met yet, or is this how they meet?
Oh, it's 100% how they meet. What is this? What happens? What debility do you end up with? What, like, yeah.
I think what happens is, like, I'm just carrying wood over and I'm like, oh, this is totally gonna help. I'll like hoist it up and I like drop it on my head. So I'm gonna go with muddled. And I'm just like sitting there on the ground going like, something just happened and I don't know what it was, but my head hurts.
Yeah, and like, and like Sparrow, you see the like, okay, but at the same time, I feel like some of this wood catches fire, right?
Almost certainly, yeah.
That's got to be what happens. Just because you're
I like the idea that like if you get a fright or a shock, you just like kind of like spout fire.
That's absolutely what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
I walk over and I see myself from many weeks ago. I go, reach out a hand, probably take off my coat and start putting out some of the wood. Go, I will teach you everything I know.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. Cool.
Yeah, so Fallen will just kind of blink back up at Sparrow a few times and be like, What do you know?
Sparrow looks off into the distance, trying to be cool, like probably props their leg up on something. I've learned so much. The gunk, the leaves, everything. It's brought me here to this glorious wall. The place that you will be someday, I promise. We will go there together.
Yeah, Forla just like picks up this like handful of dried leaves and is like, I'd like to learn about the leaves.
Come with me. I will show you the way. Grab some gum.
Oh my god.
So good.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Is anyone else doing
Hey,
that?
Ro,
Yes.
do you have a particular plan or a thing you want to do already?
I did.
That's cool. Do that. Do that. It's cool. It's fine.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying what you have wouldn't help.
Oh.
Because I think a bunch of the villagers have gathered just a bunch of horrible, shitty scrap metal and given it to Ro to make a plow for the farms.
Ooh. Cool. So Emily, do you have a thing you're...
I don't think I have been given specific instructions by my friends for how to use the treasures that I'm holding. So I think I will need to hold on to them for a later time.
Sounds good.
Well, that's a shame. Fortunes are at 1 now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Heck. Zero fucks given.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Think he makes a amazing plow, and is the whole time muttering about thorn and axes, and if he just left it alone, we would have been fine.
Awesome. I love it. Cool. We'll tick up farms by one point then. So much
Can
progress
do.
today. And a little bit of disaster. But like mostly progress. Did anyone else want to do anything about like looking for rumors about stuff, or are we good to do you want to just
Shall
fucking bail?
I go through what the current rumors are? Shall I read out some rumors for folks? All right. So there are always troubles with the chitons. We know this. So we'd always go looking for trouble with them if we wanted to. We know that there are lizard folk drag racing a few days from town. But I think, I don't know, that's necessarily an immediate like problem.
I mean,
It's a good thing to know.
we investigated that. We found out more about
Yeah.
it. It's not
true.
specifically that. So
They live in a giant tanker crawly thing on the salt flats, according to this note here. Atsis, the emperor of all between the Standing Stone and the Sapphire Sea, also dead in some strange and creative way, is a person that keeps sort of visiting town and kind of being involved in people's lives occasionally or being spoken to, and then disappearing again. There's the Bone Zone. There's the Well of Eels, and near the Well of Eels there's a man who wears a shell like a tortoise and offers true wisdom in exchange for food, or specifically in exchange for like having sharing a meal with him. He'll give you some wisdom about questions that you might have. So if people are seeking wisdom, you can always go and visit Dendron, who is the wise tortoise. There's a chasm with some magic doors where a sad old elf lives, who's kind of shady, but we don't really know much about him other than that. There are some ghost nod caps down there. An ogre walked past town carrying an alive goat and a wheelbarrow.
That was a while ago now.
Okay. Someone in town keeps guinea pigs. During the night, they heard a screeching sound and some rattling, and when they went to check on the guinea pig enclosure, 2 of the creatures were gone, but the cage had been opened rather than broken into, and there was a pin feather. Which is a very specific rumor. Some old folks built a weird church outside of town where they recently buried someone who died of some kind of skin coming off you illness. That's right. No one's investigated that church, have they?
Nope.
No one's been to the church. Okay.
I vote church.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. There's a big city beyond the swamp. Which seems largely unpopulated and is made of chrome and glass and steel. But the only known route is by boat across a large body of deep water. Apparently, the city used to be held by a faction named the Ghouls. But we don't know much about them. The Hungry Wave is a safe campsite near to the Well of Eels. The ruins of Atsus's castle lie somewhere in the forest. He is searching for them. There's also a rumor here that Atsus mentioned 8 wardens, while conventional wisdom only acknowledges 7. So that's not like a specifically located rumor, but it's an interesting thing. There you go. That's some stuff. What do we think?
My vote's for the creepy church. Oh, sorry, no, weird, not creepy church.
It does specifically say weird in brackets, not creepy.
No, that would be it could possibly, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's a thing that you can go looking for. Do you want to just like set out and
what does Heather feel? Because DC, you said you're also interested in church. Heather, what are you?
Creepy church, yes.
Not creepy church. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the skin coming off disease sounds horrifying, but I could be compelled to come up with a reason why Fallen would want to go there and burn all the bodies. I mean, yes. Potentially at some point I'd like to go see Dendron, but that is not an emergency right now problem.
Yeah. Yeah, Dendron is very interesting. And yes, if characters have like specifically kind of like personal or group mysteries to explore, Dendron would be very useful for that. But I don't know if people do. Yeah, I'm cool with not creepy church.
Cool. Well, that sounds like it sounds like Faustus might be leading the charge there.
I mean, I love leading the charge.
Yeah, cool. Well, if you where's the specific description for the undertake progeny when you lead your party through the wilds with a destination in mind, name what you're looking for. Adventure, treasure, the hidden grove of the Elder Blood Tree, and ask the GM how much progress you'll need.
Okay. Also, as a side note, I think if I'm leading the charge, then the way that we've all met is that I have literally like gone around town loudly announcing that I'm going to see this church and try to save the people there, and that I'm looking for brave adventurers to accompany me, and I've just sort of been going around kind of loudly proclaiming this to everyone who will listen.
I mean, in that case, then Petney is Petney, one of the older women in the village, is like, oh no, it's just You don't need to. You don't need to save anyone. It's just a church. It's not very interesting, even. In fact, I'm sure it's probably it's probably quite boring and a waste of time for you young folks. Have you heard that there's a strange king that's been around that's been turning people to ash?
What's her name? What's this?
Her name is Petny. Petny.
Petny. I'm gonna write that down. I think. How old is Petny?
Like early 60s.
Okay, not like old. I mean, I think I would just sort of make pleasantries, and like if I get the impression that this is not an adventuring type person, you know, then I just sort of like placate her with kind of like, oh yes, well, you know, I'm just going to see the sights, and yes, I have heard about this king, and perhaps we'll you know, go and seek the king, and just sort of try to, you know.
Yep, I don't think there's a danger here, so I don't think you need to roll.
I mean, I can if you want.
No, I don't think there's a specific threat. But yeah, she's like, oh well, I just think that it's very boring.
Does she seem like she genuinely thinks it's very boring, or does it seem like she's trying to put us off?
That sounds like reading it. That sounds like discerning realities.
It does, doesn't it? All right. Well, I do want to know. Or maybe this is because the other option is that this is us gathering rumors.
Yes, it could also be gathering rumors if you want.
Yeah, I think I'd like to go with that because actually, if she knows other things, that's what I want to know. I want to know what she knows, not what her opinion is.
Yep.
So that's charisma. Cool. It's
cool.
a 9.
You get a vagary or something. Yeah, she says specifically, like, I think she at some point says it's not a place for young people, or something like that. That it is, and you know, she's like, she mutters to herself, you know, don't you with your you don't want to go stomping around in there with your big boots, getting things dirty, and it's a sacred place. You know, and all of these sorts of things. You know, she doesn't think that young adventuring types should be going there because it's not for them, and it's and they will upset the religious whatever's goings on.
I think that would be a good point in time for Fallen to rock up and be like, "It's okay, I don't wear boots." And they'll just like lift up a foot, level the toes, being like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop."
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, I think actually, well, I'm interested because I think if that's like, if I am told that, then I think like in character, my interest for that venture probably like wanes somewhat because there's no one to rescue or like impress or, you know, whatever. So like, does someone else in the group like either kind of like, you know, take the momentum or like convince me that there is some kind of heroic deed to be done or something like that? Because I think if she's sort of saying that, I'm kind of looking a bit unsure and like, oh yes, maybe that does sound quite boring. I don't particularly want to interrupt a bunch of old people.
I think Ro like hangs from a nearby eucalyptus tree by his feet down, and he's chewing on like probably a rat he caught or something. He says, "Oh, you're Faustus, right? I hear you need help burning down an evil church."
Evil church? My goodness, you all have it very strange in your heads.
And I think I say, well, I'm very flattered that you recognize myself and my name. That is very nice to know. But it is not at all an evil church, my friend. Definitely not that. And I'm like casting a look at the woman as well, at Petny, to be like, no, we don't think that. Don't worry, we don't think that it's an evil church. We're totally not going to burn it down.
I've made boiled eggs.
Sparrow slowly just pats her on the head. Yes, Edney.
Would you like some?
No, Edney.
I mean, I would gladly partake of these lovely homemade goods.
And Rose scampers across shoulders and sticks grubby hands in there.
Yeah, she's just got a basket of like peeled boiled eggs that she like pulls out from like her house.
Yes, I make ooh noises and sort of delicately like take a couple out of the basket, and I bow to her and I thank her very much for her generosity, and I pop them in my pockets.
She's like, yes. Have you heard that to the south there's a swamp full of kobolds?
Indeed.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, yeah.
No, that was the last time Fallen was around. They went to that very same swamp and got their butts kicked. So kicked.
I make a note to ask you about this once we're like away from town, because I notice your like very dramatic response.
It's Friday. We're going to church.
Yep.
Bye, Grandma.
Yep.
Thanks for the eggs.
Yeah, I think she's not. She's yeah. She doesn't quite stop you. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Are you, Sparrow? Are you happy to take the lead? It sounds like maybe.
I think Sparrow's got the thing that gets them a bonus for navigating. So.
I do.
Yeah. Cool.
I think I'm busy slightly regretting my choices now that I've realized I have these two very fiery persons along with us, and that they may want to burn down this old this old people's church. So
just because we use fire to solve all of our problems doesn't mean we're necessarily gonna burn down a church. I mean, geez, way to stereotype us.
Fair.
I mean, if we're being honest, we met through you lighting something on fire. I'm just gonna put that on the table. Just let that be what it is.
Accidentally,
true, 100% true.
I think
There's going to be a lot of accidents.
Just don't sneeze inside, because you have it. Also,
stop giving away my plan.
Don't eat those eggs. I'm telling you. Just...
Why? What's wrong with the eggs?
I don't even know if they're actually eggs.
I mean, they look a lot like eggs.
Okay.
Ash, do they taste like eggs?
I mean, yes. They are of different sizes. But yes, they taste like eggs. Yeah.
So Ro is going to look over at Sparrow with his mouth full of different sized eggs and like, they taste fine.
Great, awesome.
Okay.
Sparrow, you're taking egg 1 because someone in your party has eaten the eggs.
Oh no.
What?
So Ro, you start feeling kind of like just a bit woozy and keep just noticing things in the forest and being like, what is that? And like just very like distracted and like kind of out of it. Your stomach feels like it wants to not be full of eggs. Yeah. They tasted fine, but now you're like kind of dissociating and nauseous.
Which is probably pretty distracting because I think he's on Sparrow's shoulders right now.
Oh my god.
Right, well, I would like to help Sparrow in this action by probably just repeatedly removing like Ro from their shoulders, and then I imagine that like somehow they end up back on there again, and I'm just keep no.
Honestly, I'm one of the fastest, most sly people I know, and I don't know how he keeps getting up there. Next thing I know, I smell egg breath. And
it is really
cool
quite uncanny.
There's this weird, there's this weird, like, the egg breath definitely has, like, a bit of, radiator coolant smell on it. They tasted fine.
Has she boiled? I think I, like, take one out of my pocket, and I kind of sniff it, and I look at it, and I say, has that batty old woman boiled her eggs in coolant?
Looking at it, you're looking at it. If you like look at it in direct sunlight, you're like, oh, it's slightly cyan.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna take these eggs out of my pocket. I'm gonna just tuck them in this bush down here as we go past, and everything will be fine.
I'm gonna take them out of the bush once Faustus has gone past, put them in my pocket, so they can be safe for, like, bait or something for someone we don't like.
That's smart. That is smart.
All right, so yeah, how we doing on our?
But yes, I'm giving help. to
Yeah,
Sarah.
it does sound like you are. Yeah.
I don't think there's any way that I can really help, so I'll just try to not make things worse.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Cool.
So I get to re-roll a die if
Yep.
I remember.
Yep, that's
Okay.
what helping does.
I get a -1.
You're getting
because-
a -1 from Ro, but you're getting a reroll from Faustus.
Okay. So my -1 and my +1 cancel each other out.
Yeah, but you also have a +1 because you have vagaries and rumors to guide you, so you're at a total of +1.
Haha. Okay. Hacha!
She was trying to. Oh, okay. Do you want to reroll one?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's
Oh no!
all right.
I literally
cool.
opened my mouth to say, "Don't roll a 1," and then was like,
Yeah.
"That'll be an annoying thing to say."
Let me find it.
Orland is becoming convinced that maybe you don't know all of the ways of the trees.
Let me have a look here.
Is this now like Ro like holding on to like Sparrow's face or something? Like, you know, oh, I feel woozy. I need to I better hold on and like just right over your eyes.
They are trying to get at the eggs in Forland's pockets, and their cloak is just like flapping in Sparrow's face.
Oh God. Roll me a d10.
Oh no. I'll do it, but only because I love you. 6.
Don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, right. Cool. Let's see where you come across the like. God, I didn't even realize that was this close. You come across the ruins of a town burned down. So like it was like a town is a big word. It's probably it's like 3 or 4 houses together. Where 3 or 4 farms would have once like met at a corner of a crossroads or something. A hamlet maybe. I'm not sure what the technical term is. Or a thorp. Might be a thorp. But yeah, like 3 or 4 buildings collected with like barns and things for the animals. But yeah, it's been like there's all of this these young trees growing up through like the roads and things there. So it's like probably been like 6 months ish, maybe a year ish. And yeah, there are all these young trees and things growing over this like just torched Thorpe. And yeah, you come across it and you hear from inside one of the buildings like a pained groan or something.
I think I've like sort of seen the come into the space, and I make some comment along the lines of like, you know, oh, this is a very sorry sight, and so near to Beta. And then, yeah, like, when we hear this noise, I kind of, like, put a hand up to my ear and say, "Alas, some poor soul is in trouble!" And I immediately, like, go to, like, it's like searching through the buildings trying to find the source of the noise.
Poland is just watching them do it, like, what are you doing? Like,
Someone needs our help! Can't you hear that? Can't you hear that?
yes, but, like, have you been here before?
No. What's that got to do with it?
There could be basements, and the floorboards have all been burned, so you're gonna fall through and break your face.
It's a very
Also,
valid point, my friend.
Everything tries to kill us, so...
Right. Yes. Very wise. Very wise. I shall take more care. And I'm now, like, sneaking, like, comically through the ruins instead. And I've started, like, whispering, like, "Where are you? We're coming to help.
Yeah.
I just have to not fall on my face."
Yeah, I think I think from inside one of the buildings, you hear here.
I'll head toward that building, and I'm, like, beckoning for the others. I'm like, "Come on."
I pull out a throwing dagger, and I stay about 15 feet behind Faustus.
I think I see you do that, and I do, like, take the hint of, like, also be careful. So I'm gonna take out my rapier and just, like, hold it low as I, like, and approach cautiously.
I think Ro is going to reach up and he's going to form his short sword into a parrying dagger and hand it up to Faustus.
Nice.
Parrying dagger! Yay! I need one. I think I like take it from you and I say, like, "Oh, wonderful! I just lost one of these." And I'll hold it.
Yes, you're still wearing the sheath.
Very observant of you.
Yeah, and Ro is going to scamper just behind Faustus.
So yeah, Faustus, you come towards the largest of the buildings. It looks like a kind of like it might be like a common storage building for the there were maybe 3 families here who had, like, connected farms, and they have, like, a common space. And yeah, you peer inside and you can see that yes, the like a lot of the floorboards are basically gone, and in the, like, and I think the smell of, like, long burnt like it like old fire and char just fills this space. And yeah, you like lean in and you immediately your eyes are taken down because, like, there's nothing there to stand on. But the basement is just full of all of these, like, charred bodies in that, like, almost skeletal forms that that you get when it's just, like, they're burnt to a crisp. And I think hanging from the like the roof, the remains of the roof, with its, like, tiles and things, and, like, lots of tiles have fallen in on the onto the, like, remains of the floorboards and the and in onto the bodies in the basement. And there's, like, a set of stone. So hanging from the roof, there is a flue attached to now a swinging in the breeze, like, stove, like a potbelly stove, with, like, a spot on top for, like, for like cooking on as well. And then there are stairs near to there, stone stairs coming up out of the basement, that lead to, like, near where the stove is. And at the top of the stairs, like, leaning out, like, kind of towards the stove, and, like, there is one of these bodies, but it has embers in it as if it's still burning, and like sections of its face and stuff are still glowing cherry red with the flame. And now, and as it swings, the potbelly stove also it glows with that cherry red, and it like reaches out towards you, and it just whispers, "Help me."
I think
Okay.
I think I like my eyes go wide, and I just like mutter under my breath like, "By the wheel," and I like take a step back and like maybe bump into whoever's behind me. And then like turn around and kind of just go to the others. There is something very wrong with this person, I say in like a very low voice.
Heather, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Sorry. I was just
checking
no,
in.
get out of there.
Yeah,
Just
check in.
This seems like a bad plan.
Yeah, just this is a common like red card. So, you're muted.
Sorry.
Yeah, we tend to use the open palm, but I know that some people use that as a
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Yes.
it's okay. That's fine. I just wanted to check in.
Thank you. Speaking of which, I'd like to try and see what was the source of the fire.
Yeah, that sounds like if you like
Discern
searching
realities?
around, looking for the source.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like discerning realities then.
So wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
Awesome, you got 3 questions from
I
that
did a good
discern realities list.
They're all such like. I want to ask all the questions. What here is not what it appears to be.
That body is what do you think that what do you think is the sitch with the person? Do you have any like thought? That body is not just a fire zombie. It's not just they're not just they're not a regular undead.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
These people would have had tools, but they would probably be stored in the like back room of that place that you just looked at.
What is about to happen?
I mean, not much. This place has been idle for a while. So yeah, like there is no immediate apart from the like your entry into the place and your interaction with it has probably meant that there is some like there is likely to be more collapse from the burnt things. Like that because the movement has like probably upset some of the balance of like just where things had come to rest, but that's the main thing.
Okay, I'd like to go and stand in the doorway where I can see this not fire zombie.
Yeah, it calls to you, and you see like its tongue and some of its teeth glow like embers.
I'd like to try casting Speak with the Dead.
You casting? Yeah, sure, 100%.
I have it as my
as your heritage ability.
Blessed Birth.
Yeah. Are you doing it to this one or others?
Good point.
And what does it look like when you cast the spell?
I think I'll actually cast it on the skeletons down below, or the near skeletons down below, because I'm not entirely sure that this thing is technically dead. So Fallen will kind of make a weird thing with their hands and hold it in front of their chest and like bow their head and kind of whisper pray. And a single drop of like molten fire will fall out of their mouth and fall onto the heads of one of the skeletons below. If it works.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely roll that wisdom check, I think it is, to cast a spell. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, awesome.
That's weird,
Cool.
twice in a row.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doomed. I'm going to get a 1 next time to see.
So one of them, I think, like lights up. One of them, like, not in this as much as, but like, I think one of them like opens an eye, and like its mouth crackles open, and you see like one eye and one tooth lit like embers, and it looks at you as much as it can.
Okay. What happened here? Oh,
yeah. I need to look something up.
Okay.
Give me a second.
I've now kind of like switched to standing like just behind Fallen, and I've got my weapons sort of ready, and I'm like basically like keeping guard over them, because like this is not a thing I know anything about, and it seems like they do. So I'm now just gone like straight into protect the person who knows what the heck is going on, kind of mode.
Yeah. A daughter of Kawara, and I think you inherently know that Kawara is the name of this town. Actually, no, it's Tel Alam. That makes more sense because we're using that naming convention.
Tel Alam, Tealam.
Actually, give me a second. I'm trying to work out if this is. I need to. No, Kawara makes more sense, I think. Let's go with that. So yeah, Kawara is the name of the village, and they say a daughter of Kawara set fire to her past. But she was and I think it says for her soul was too great for this place.
Maybe she's in our town. We have a lot of emulators.
We have 2. That's not a lot.
We have at least 3.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I think Ro is sniffing around the outside of the building. Is this a place of power?
I don't think this is. This is a place I mean, you could... The outside of the building is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, I think Ro is smart enough to know that like it's a place of power that is kind of specific to certain things, right? Like it's not just any old place of power. It's like specific to a certain kind of magics.
Yeah. So Ro is going to side up to
Wilson.
Forland
Yeah.
and say, "So, what is it you want to do to them?"
Why
And
won't you help me?
He's going to gesture at the corpses.
Are you a demon?
Me?
No.
Oh,
I asked the floating corpse.
I mean, it's not floating. It's just on the top of the stairs. There's no like floor near the top of the stairs. Yeah, and it like looks towards you and is like, I think it just says, "I suffer."
I'd like to ask my second question.
Uh-huh.
Who is that? And I'll point at the fiery, not zombie corpse thing.
One of our number. I think it says, yeah, one of our number, the charred dead.
Question. So you said when Fallen used the Speak with Dead on the one below, it kind of like it lit up in the same way
Yep.
as the ones at the top of the stairs. Okay. Ah, and the one at the top of the stairs is closest to the stove, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could be relevant. It could be, and I think actually I say perhaps it's not about who they are or were, but where they are. That seems like it shouldn't still be a light. And I like point to the stove. Do you know things about magical fire?
I think Ro is going to roll his eyes and look at Forland. Actually, well, you couldn't really tell, but he exudes sort of a sarcastic aura as he does this.
Forland is doing exactly the same thing, but you also can't tell because their eyes are just completely black. But you get the same sort of sense.
Do I feel like the sarcasm is directed at me or at the situation? Oh dear. Okay.
All of the people who know about magical fire are like, no shit.
I just sort of shrug, and I kind of, like I say, yes, very, very good as you were. I'll keep guarding from outside danger. Good at that.
I think Ro is going to sort of like lean in close to Forland again and say, if I get in there, I can do something about. He's going to gesture at the stove. Would you help me?
Most likely, yes. But I still have one question, and I'm debating over what to ask.
I've not seen that sort of thing before from people like us.
It does not come from the same place as the fire, but it uses the fire.
I see. Okay. And he's gonna back away a little bit.
I feel like sometimes this game is just a competition of who can out-creep everyone else. I love it. Okay. So, just a quick question, sorry, before I ask my third question. How does the spout law work? Like, can I say, like, it's reasonable that Fallen would have some sort of knowledge about this?
I mean, yeah, if you spout law, you roll to see how good you are at knowing things, and then I give you an answer, and you might get asked follow-up questions depending on how well you do.
Okay. I'd like to attempt to spout law about wardens.
Yeah. What? Do you want to be more specific? Because I could just tell you, like, you know, like custard is the domain of Oli, or like some bullshit, right? Like.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the one. I know there was one that was like, it has fire.
Avio?
Avio is the obvious. Avio is the kill mother.
Yeah, what do you want to know about Avio specifically?
If one is like a cleric or an emulator of Avio to a strong enough point, would they be able to essentially like become more than or other than living?
I mean, yeah, let's roll. Let's get
It's
it.
gonna.
Let's get into
I'm not
this
gonna do
roll.
very well because my intelligence is currently encumbered.
You might be able to get help from Ro, though. Narratively speaking.
Oh, definitely. If you want help, Ro will offer it.
Yeah, I'll ask. Have you heard of Avio the Kill Mother?
Yeah. One of those wardens or some such. It's written about here, and he pulls out this big book with metal leaves instead of pages, and he's gonna point out some passages that deal with Avio.
That definitely sounds like helping. You're muted, I think.
Sorry, yeah, no, my mouse just did a weird thing, and I'm like, what is happening? Okay. So,
Awesome. So, on a 9, now this is slightly different in our version because we wanted to make it a bit more helpful. On a 7 to 9, I will tell you something that is interesting and potentially useful. I mean, yeah, Avio is a warden of both like flame and also like war. And I think there are definitely like tales of like people summoning her angels into the battlefield that just completely immolate foes and things like that. But that tends to be either like summoning spirits / angels, whatever we want to call them, or like a person like temporarily transcending their form, or become or like permanently like becoming more than mortal. The other kind of like things that you know about. You've heard tales of. You've heard tales of like never priests, always strange adventurers becoming like some strange thing that is more than a person. And you have heard of priests temporarily taking on like the fires of Avio in their heart and like becoming inflamed. And yeah, you've heard tales of people summoning angels of Avio on the battlefield.
okay, so my third and final question will be, how can we put all of your number to peace?
Yeah. I think it just I think it like looks up at you and like and I think it says life brings death. Is there anyone here who would grok that? Because it's a saying of a warden.
It's a saying. Is it a horror related thing?
It's a Horu like phrase.
Yeah, I am vaguely horror related. And by vaguely, I mean quite.
Yeah. So then you would be like, you would know this as like a common like things break down because they're broken down by other things, right? Like worms and trees and fungi. That's what takes like I think there is a tale in like that you might have heard once upon a time of like the time before Horu when the world filled up with bodies. right? Like, and like whether or not it's like a fairy tale, right? Like things would die, but then there would be new life, but there wasn't a cycle, so the world just filled up with bodies of trees and of people and of animals and things.
So it is the saying kind of in this, does it seem like in this case, the insinuation is that like a natural cycle would solve this, like the bodies need to be broken down or like put back into the natural flow of things?
Yeah,
Gotta
I think that's
bury them.
burying them would do the job.
Yeah, I mean, technically they've already been semi-cremated, which would be the first point of call for Fallen. So they're like, yeah, okay, that didn't work, so burying sounds good.
I have a thought on this. And I think Ro is going to start going down the stairs.
Okay, so the stairs lead up into like one side of the room that isn't where you are, so you could jump down like from the door down into the basement, or you could edge across the side of the building where the floor is still attached toward the stairs.
Okay, I think he's going to do that.
The second one? Yeah, cool. That's definitely defying danger with dexterity then.
And would it help that he is itty bitty and small?
Yes. I mean, yeah, you make it, and then and the thing like reaches out and grabs a hold of the body that's there, reaches out and grabs a hold of your like leg or arm or something, and immediately you feel the burning of someone pressing hot coals into you, and you're gonna take some damage. As this thing is like, help me, and yeah, is like digging its burning fingers into your leg.
All right.
And like as soon as it's touching you, its eyes and like the parts of it that are glowing like seem to like be like glow up like if you like had breathed blue air onto embers. So I think this is a D6. Yeah. And armor will help you here.
I feel like being an immolator narratively like would help you, but I don't really know if that has a mechanical something.
Yeah, I think there's an advanced move you can get that helps you with that. Nice. Good job.
And I think since this is this is even.
Yes.
When you take damage, and that damage is odd after armor, and I don't have any armor, so fighting fire with fire. So I get to roll a 1d4 and subtract that from the total of my damage.
Awesome. Nice, well done. Good job. Yeah.
Ro kind of ignores it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just walks past it.
Yeah, cool. We're overdue for a break, so shall we take it there, and then we can come back and see what happens next after the break?
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be back in a minute, chat.